Um, while we're waiting on a few more folks to join in, I actually have a survey question. You know, typically if we're in person, we'll have you stand up or raise your hand if you're a member or not a member, just so we can assess who's in the room and how deep we need to go during these sessions. So in lieu of that, I have a survey here that I'm going to put up. And would love to, if you all can just go ahead and click on the survey and let us know who's in the building. All right, a lot of members. We've missed you all. I see a lot of familiar names here. A couple of corporate partners who I'm sure are also members as well in the building. And while we're doing that, Camille, I know you're next up on the docket. I would love if you test your mic just to make sure you're all good to follow up after I'm done. So as I mentioned, for those that joined us a little bit earlier, I know there's been a lot of different virtual platforms you all have been using. This isn't Zoom. And so you may have to get accustomed to the platform. It should be pretty intuitive. Essentially, you have a list of attendees off to your right and a chat box there. And I see some folks are using it. Dana, welcome. This is your first meeting. That's exciting. So feel free to chat, and we'll have key moments throughout the webinar, but we'll have you chime in with any questions because we don't want them to get too lost as people are chatting along the way. Will there be a video stream starting? We are not going to do video streaming live for this session. We do have that capability, but we will not do it for this session. So, but this session is being recorded and we're happy to share it out with you all if you want to send it over to a friend who may have interest in becoming a member. Great. All right, well, it looks like we have, if I can add properly today, it's been a long week, but we have close to 60 people, 64 to be exact, that are on. So we have a pretty good size. We are going to try to start relatively on time because we recognize that all of you are probably sitting at home all day and probably need a little bit of a break from the computer screen. Camille, can you go ahead and just test your audio just to make sure that you are good to go after me? Again, if you are just joining, go ahead and do the survey so we can see who's in the building, but looks like majority are members with a few guests in the building. Tyrone, yes, you did pick a hilarious time to get involved, but we appreciate you, and there's a lot that we're doing behind the scenes. So we look forward to your involvement along the way. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, I do want to respect you all's time and screen time, if you will. I got a toddler over here, so we're used to talking about screen time. So let's jump right in. But again, thank you all for attending. Looks like we will close this vote, but I see some votes trickling in. But ultimately, we have a really good turnout of membership. So thank you all again for dedicating your time. A few non-members and guests. If we were live, we would come around and shake your hand like they do in church, but we won't. We'll do a virtual high five. But thank you for attending. And then I know we have some corporate partners that are joining us. I know Aaron from HILTI is in the building, and I'm sure more will join us shortly. All right. So let me go ahead and put the presentation up. And I'll go through the first couple of slides. Obviously, we just did an icebreaker, and I'll do another one pretty shortly. But I just wanted you guys to understand the flow of today. And so, again, if you guys are having any issues with technology, seeing a screen, please let us know in the chat box. We have someone monitoring that to ensure that you're good. But I will walk through the state of the chapter. I would take a little bit of time, but I think it's appropriate to address this environment and what we're doing behind the scenes and this overall the healthiness of our chapter, because I recognize that some businesses aren't doing well. So we'll talk about that for a little bit. As we traditionally do, we'll walk through some key aspects of our chapter and what's going on, recognizing that there are some people who are not members or haven't been as active. So some things may be repetitive for those that are used to hearing us talk about our chapter. Bear with us as always. And we just want to ensure we ground everyone on why we're here and why we're serving as volunteers for this organization. And then we have a really special guest, TaShunda Scott, who will be talking through workforce job readiness and business resources. So that's a really great segment and probably the biggest segment of our conversation today. And then towards the end, we'll have a new member orientation like we always do. And so that is a moment where many of you can drop off. If you have to get dinner ready, that should probably be around 7 o'clock. And but for those that are new, we would love if you kind of stuck around so we can give you a little bit more deep dive of what we're doing. All right. So I do have one more because I figured we'll have people trickling in. So I have one more icebreaker for us, and I promise we'll jump right into the content. So this is one that I think many of us are local. We're in Texas, and we're seeing this phase 1, phase 2. And I know that there's a spectrum, right? And I want to acknowledge the different spectrum of people who are like, I'm staying in till forever. And those that are like, put my kid in daycare right now, right? So I won't tell y'all which one I'm on, but ultimately, I do want to just, keep it lighthearted and just understand what are you most looking forward to as the country slowly opens back up. And you can vote for multiple things. So go ahead and take some time doing that. And this will, again, allow us a little bit of time for folks to jump on a little bit late. All right, we have some folks looking forward to brunching on the weekend. It's really interesting to see how Mother's Day would go this weekend. And I may be stuck in the house, but I'm not cooking. Sports, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Some shopping here. Personally, for me, I've been on Amazon every day, so I think I've got enough shopping done. I expect to see that Black MBA events be 100, by the way. So, just kidding. Yes, Reginald, Amazon, and by the way, they should be a sponsor of us at this point. But yes, those late night insomnia shop. Hi, Christopher. How are you? And again, if you're just joining, we're doing a quick icebreaker to allow folks to get settled in, and then we're going to jump right into the content. Reggie, I have an Amazon delivery every day, unfortunately. I don't even know what I order at this point. Camille, again, feel free to keep testing your mic so we can ensure that you'll be ready when your time comes up. Yes, I do want to call out one of our great members, Christopher Marshall. He did survive COVID, and I know we all may have had some family members or people super close to us that are going through this, and certainly understand that personally in my family as well. We have some people impacted back in Detroit. So shout out to Christopher, who's one of our great members, was actually a lot student at some point, and we've watched him kind of grow. And just great to hear your story, Chris. All right, well, we're going to close the voting up, but let's see. You guys can, I think, see the results for the most part. But it looks like more than anything, people are looking to get out and about, whether that is traveling, vacation, sign me up for the next Hawaii deal. I'll be on it. And I do look forward to grabbing some brunch soon. I am tired of cooking. We have resulted to paper plates in this house moving forward because I do not want to do dishes. So don't judge me. All righty. Well, again, thank you all for just taking the time to do this icebreaker with us while we waited for folks to trickle in. Let's jump into the content. So again, it looks like a sizable amount of the attendees are members, right? So you'll see a few slides that are pretty similar. We don't change it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But you'll see me walk through a couple of slides just to ground everyone on who we are, just a level set here. So again, we are a national organization with 39 chapters, established in 1970 and celebrating a great milestone this year, 50th anniversary to be exact. Our headquarters is in Atlanta. We have an interim president right now, Bruce Thompson, with around 15,000 members nationwide and 39 chapters, as I've mentioned. So this graph really shows you where all those chapters are located. And there's obviously, well, maybe not that obvious, but we do have 4 that are located in Texas, with Houston, San Antonio, Austin, and obviously us here in Dallas. As far as scale and size of chapters, there's around 6 mega chapters, with Dallas being the 3rd or 4th largest chapter. Atlanta is the largest. Behind them is DC. And then us in New York are kind of neck and neck there. So we always try to compete to see who has the highest membership. but we're doing pretty well as a national organization. Cheers to 50 years. Yes, absolutely. Although this has been an interesting year, right, for all of us. So the Dallas-Fort Worth chapter was founded by Toby Cox. I see our former president, Cheryl Long, in the building, so a virtual high five to Cheryl. But we were established in 1989. We celebrated our 30th last year. And I won't go through all the accolades, but just know that we do a lot of great things. As I mentioned, we're the third largest chapter. At least I'll claim it. And, you know, we really are a powerful chapter. And so it's exciting to see our growth, frankly, double over the past couple of years. So our mission is to facilitate connections. If you talk to me at any point, you hear me say those two words, because it's truly important for us to ensure that we are empowering our memberships, empowering our community, and empowering our corporate partners who have D&I goals and aspirations. And so our channels of engagement are lifestyle, career, education, leadership, and entrepreneurship. And of course, we have our Leaders of Tomorrow mentoring program. Their year got cut short as well. We have been doing virtual sessions for them, and we have another one actually coming up in a couple of weeks that will wrap up their school year. And so they've been super nimble with us as well, but we have ensured throughout all of this, they were still being enriched with our content. And then I want to show you our executive board. So the last time you actually saw all of us was back in January, which feels like a year ago, but it was just a few months ago. But you had us standing up on a stage and talking about all the great things that we were going to be doing this year, and also introducing a lot of the new board members, because we started a new term this year. So unfortunately, you haven't really seen us in person yet. We'll be back out there. But definitely want to acknowledge the great executive board. And in a few more slides, you'll see the committee chairs that support us holistically. So Ebony Williams, who's been active in the group chat, is the VP of Operations. Brandy Tyson is on VP of Treasurer, and she's been around with us for a while. Demetrius Washington is the VP of Administration. Maya Tompkins, the VP of Records, and Miko Tempos, our new VP of Marketing. So I think many of them are in the chat, so feel free to hit them up and again, congratulate them on their new term. Of course, again, it's just been an interesting year to get started. So before I wrap up, and again, this session is less about me or frankly our chapter, but more some of the content we want to share with you all. I did want to address the state of our chapter with COVID-19 and make sure that we're not tone deaf to things that are going on around us in the DFW community. I will just say off the bat, we're in really good standing. We've spent a lot of time over the past couple of years building a sound strategy from membership to corporate partners, and therefore that has left us in a very healthy position right now to invest in technology and to ensure that we're being smart with the decisions that we make with our money, frankly, over the next 12 months or so. So as I mentioned, our membership is strong. We have about 1,050 members as of today, but we are expecting that growth to slow down a bit. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, we've doubled over the past couple of years. And so while we typically expect around 300 new members, and we had a very strong strategy to reach out into Fort Worth this year and to really tap into universities, of course, some of that had to die down just a little bit. But we encourage you to, keep spreading the good word about our organization. Again, your membership is a national membership, and there's tons of perks outside of the local benefits. And what you'll see in a few more slides is a plan of how we're going to continue to bring you content virtually in a phased approach. So again, I kind of mentioned, we still are opening to expanding our reach and ensuring that wherever you are, especially virtually, that you can access great content and be empowered in your careers, but also deepening our value for our memberships as well. So I do want to give a shout out to some folks on the team who have created a private Facebook page. If you remember, you are invited. You just got to find us, and we'll have links in our emails. But we have a workout session going on every Monday for free. It's at 8 a.m. I personally am not on, and I'm still in bed, but I know some of our members are joining and doing workouts from home. And again, with many of your gyms closed, I definitely encourage you to get up in the morning and do some crunches as you prepare for the week. So that's our membership. Finances, as I mentioned, we're strong. We have been very I wouldn't say frugal, but very smart with our money over the past couple of years to ensure that we get that return on investment. As a reminder, you know, our chapter is financed through 3 key areas. You have our membership, which your membership, a percentage of that goes to our headquarters to fuel the conference, and then a percentage comes back to us. We have our corporate partners, and again, I know there's a few that are in attendance who we partner with to ensure that our members are armed with career opportunities. And then we have donations. And so again, we've done really great in all 3 aspects of our planning and of our chapter over the past couple of years. And so we're pretty strong to make investments like even this platform right here to ensure that, frankly, there's a new normal. You know, COVID has introduced a new normal, and I see us incorporating virtual meetings as well as other technology along the way. Programming. So kind of mentioned that we're investing in technology, and I just want to level set on what we're doing over the next 90 days to the balance of the year. While we understand that the country is opening up, we want to be smart about the events that we do, understanding that we do draw a big crowd. I mentioned we have 1,000 members strong, and we never know how many are going to show up. So as far as phase 1, that's what we're going to call phase 1, is through the balance of Q2. So at least through June, all events will still be virtual. And I know the team has a lot of great ideas and events that they are planning and webinars over the next couple of months. So please stay tuned to that. But you would not see us live unless you see us at brunch, perhaps. But you would not see events in person for the next, at least for the next 60 days. Meaning we really we're one of those organizations want to stay safe, and we want to make sure you're safe. And when we do open back up, we want to ensure that we have the right safety precautions in place. So we want to allow the state to open back up, the counties to open back up, learn, you know, see what opportunities are in the market right now and how we can learn from that. And then we'll safely open back up, probably with a happy hour, right? Just to get together and network. But we will try to open and do more events in Q3 and Q4. But it will be a balanced approach. We probably will have limitations, frankly, because we just simply don't want to put anyone in harm's way. So through Q3 and Q4, you will see a balanced approach between in-person meetings and webinars. Again, COVID has opened up an opportunity for us to use technology more, and frankly, that helps with our reach as well. So you'll see that coming through. And then I do want to touch on this, although I will say that I don't have a lot of clarity. I'll be honest and transparent with that around conference. So if you're wondering, I get a lot of questions from corporate partners and members, but as of an email I got from the board a couple of days ago, there's still plans to be a conference. Now, they've been clear that it may not be an in-person conference. It may be virtual. It may be some combination of the two. For those that know, the conference is in DC. It's very dense in DC, and so I'm sure that they're also trying to be very smart in what they put together. And so conference typically brings 10,000 people, and that obviously poses a huge risk. So more to come. I promise once I know more information, I will share that information with you all if you don't get a communication from our headquarters before me. But that's the standing as of a couple of days ago when we talked to the board. Awesome. Well, Michael, that would be awesome. We actually have a board member. Perfect. I'm glad I looked down. Let's see if I can get you to speak, Mr. McNeil. 1 second. You should be able to speak, Mike, so let us know if you have any troubles. You may have to toggle with your audio icon, but you are capable. And Michael, while you're maneuvering that, and again, I understand this platform is relatively new for some folks, I will see if, oh, I think you're good. I see you.
Am I good? You can see me, but can you hear me?
Well, I can hear you. Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. So no, thank you, and can answer the question at least real quick.
Volume up just a little bit. I don't think many people can hear you clearly.
Can they hear me or not?
It's just a little bit low, but go ahead.
Okay. So, well, I have it as loud as I can have right now, but we have a special task force and a subcommittee that's working with the national headquarter offices. Myself on the board and Bill Borden are sharing the lead with that. And we're looking at, as you discussed, a couple of different options. What we will tell you is that the conference itself will definitely have virtual components to it. And we're still trying to look at what the risk levels would be, within the DC area for us to have a conference. I'm not sure if everyone knows or not, but we have been communicated that the convention center itself, where we traditionally would have conference, has been converted or in the process of being converted, for hospital and treatment areas for COVID-19 individuals. So that's why we're trying to take a look at and weigh with the hotels as well as overall programming what we would want to do in place of it. So you're absolutely correct, but we have a special sort of task force and activities looking at and reviewing that. And so we will know very shortly because we have to make, from technology and other perspectives, some decisions. And so the board has our board meeting, which is going to be in May, coming up here real soon. And then after that, we would be having a decision out to all the membership and a communications effectively with what those changes would be.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And while you're on, I'm going to put you on a spot because
Sure.
You have a new role. I would love if you shared that because welcome to DFW.
I will. I really appreciate that. So I guess 2 weeks ago, I officially started as the Senior Vice President for their Global Chief Information Security Officer at McKesson. So I will be based out of the headquarters location there in Las Colinas, and will be moving to the DFW area. So look forward to my wife and I, joining and also being active as I have been, from a local perspective as well as nationally with the organization. So thank you very much for the shout outs and those that have reached out to me on LinkedIn and other social media aspects as well.
Thank you. And as you probably know, but for our members, McKesson is a strategic partner of ours this year. So we're excited to have that corporate spotlight at some point over the next couple of months. So thank you, Mike. I'm going to put you on mute now because we're going to go ahead and move on.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Ms. Camille, I think, and Camille is our membership chair, but I think you are about primed up, right? Shout out if you hear me. I thought I saw you on.
Yeah.
There you are. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to. You there?
I am.
There's an echo. May have a couple things on.
No, this is the only system I have on.
Okay. I'm going to move.
Can you hear me? And okay, good, you can hear me. Really happy to be here, and I'm happy to see that we have a lot of members. For non-members, we hope that you would join us. We have a lot of great things coming up in 2020, and we're going to have some strategic partners come in and speak with us as well, and we're going to kind of move forward. So, who we are. Our chapter has grown by leaps and bounds. Today, we're at approximately between 900 to 1,000 members, and we want to grow that number. In terms of our demographics, it's about 50-50. We have 48% male versus 52% female. In terms of age groups, that's varied as well. We have millennials, we have Generation X, we have, it's across the board. And in terms of education, starting in high school, we have student affairs and LAP programs that focus in on our students. MBA, it represents 46%, master's degrees 15, and undergraduate degrees 31. So again, it is a varied mix in terms of education. In terms of disciplines, varied again, healthcare, engineering, accounting and finance. It's across the board, but specifically with LAT and student affairs, we have scholarship programs too to assist our students and again to grow within our chapter and organization. So more to come on those two programs as well. So next, we're going to speak with Eric Hamilton. He is the chair for strategic partnerships. He has a couple of our strategic partners here today to speak on their organization, opportunities they may have open. So Eric, it's on you.
If not, I can certainly speak in, chime in for you. All right, I'll keep going because clearly we're having just a couple of issues here, but for the sake of time, we'll keep it moving. But ultimately, this slide is pretty self-explanatory, right? We have a lot of members. We have a lot of great partners that we'll show in the next slide. And ultimately, our job here is to facilitate those connections. In fact, we did a CARE survey, which we'll talk through in a few more slides, reaching out to our membership via a survey as well as phone calls, just to check on you and see how you're doing. And one thing we hear loud and clear is that a lot of our members are still looking for opportunities. Eric, I think you're on, so feel free to chime in.
I am. Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. Do I sound like Camille? Because she sounds like a robot. Am I all right? Is the voice, is it all right? Okay, hope so. All right. So, hey, I'm just going to take a couple of minutes just to kind of talk through strategic partnerships. And one of the questions that I get asked a lot is just help me understand what a strategic partner is. And so I'll just spend a couple of minutes and take you through kind of what the strategic partnership is, the value that that corporations have, and what it means for our membership. So really, the consistent thing that you've heard is that from a membership standpoint, we hear about individuals or our members wanting to do career changes or looking for the next opportunity or that next wave up, right, to go to that next level in their career. And so as Sharice talked about many times, what we try to do is we facilitate connections. And so from this standpoint, what we're doing is we're identifying, corporations throughout DFW that are really trying to target a diverse professional groups. And so you have companies that represent our strategic partnerships and we facilitate those connections. So they're partnering with the National Black MBA to have access to our members. And so from a membership standpoint, I mean, you've got Fortune 10, Fortune 100 companies that want to partner and look for the type of talent that we have in DFW. So it's an exciting thing. So that's simply what we've done. And I'm sure a lot of you probably have attended the corporate spotlights. And that's really so every partner that we have has the opportunity to essentially have an open house. And that open house, we invite our members in, and you guys have access to the hiring managers, learning more about that organization and what makes them special and what type of candidates that they're looking for. And we just continue to see a lot of development, a lot of growth in our strategic partners. So over the last couple of years, our numbers have doubled and tripled, and it's simply because our members, we bring you guys are cream of the crop, the top talent at DFW. So that's what the strategic partners are. It's companies that are looking for a diverse audience. And where else can you find over 1,000, diverse, professional, qualified individuals than at the National Black MBA? Like, where else can you find over 8,500 DFW professionals that we have in our database? It's very rare to see something like that. So with that being said, I want to talk through just very quickly on our current strategic partners. And then I have a couple that'll take a couple of minutes just to kind of talk through about their role and kind of what they're looking for. So I'll start with McKesson. So our list of partners. So McKesson, which if you're not familiar with that company, it's probably the largest company that you've never heard of. They do business to business on the medical side of the house, but they're a Fortune 10 company, a very large organization. Brinker International. So this organization, if you ever heard of Maggiano's or Chili's, right? That's Brinker International. EY, one of the largest organizations that you're going to see from a consulting standpoint. CBRE, one of the largest real estate companies in the world. HILTI, and HILTI offers a diverse range of different kind of services that they offer, from construction to other avenues. Open Door, which again, they're revolutionizing the real estate market. If you're not familiar with Open Door, just think about if you've seen some signs where you're able to go into a house through your app on your phone. So just revolutionizing how the digital aspect is done. And then finally, we're working with United Health Group, and they've been a partner for quite a while, and are on the cusp of continuing that partnership. And UHG has several groups within United Health Group, but basically on the medical side. So at this point, I'm going to just take a couple of moments and ask two of our strategic partners just to give you a high-level introduction, their background, and maybe some key areas that they're looking for. So I'm going to start with Kevin Muscat from EY. So Kevin, if you can hear my voice, if you could take a couple of moments, and you may have to press on your name on that right-hand side, you may have to press the unmute, which is a picture of the microphone. So if you press that button, then we should be able to hear you. There you go. Kevin, can you hear
me? Can you hear me, Eric?
Yes, I can. Good evening, Kevin.
Thanks for joining the meeting. I'll just take a couple minutes real quick about myself. I am a finance accounting guy by trade. I've been in industry, I've been in audit, I've been at a couple startups in a finance role, but found my true passion at EY. For the last 15 years, I've been in our mergers and acquisition group. So really anything related to a company buying or selling another company or making investments, joint ventures, et cetera, that's where we play. So pretty broad group. Eric gave us a nice shout out. We're a high level $40 billion revenue firm, private company, about 300,000 employees. Second, I've got two other things to talk about. Second would be just our privilege and honor to be part of the partnership with National Black MBA. It's been a great relationship the last couple of years. When it comes down to it, there's so much that we could be doing, and we want to be helping and adding value to the organization. One of the biggest ways is obviously trying to get people hired. There's a lot of people I've seen on this call where we are talking to them. I've got about 15 to 20 from this group where we've talked to and tried to find positions within EY. I think that's really what it's all about. We have a handful that we're still working on. I told Eric earlier, I'd love to get some more wins. A lot of that is on us as an organization, but we're trying our best. And that's really where we think we can, provide probably the most value is career opportunities and getting to be a part of our EY organization. And last thing I'll say is, in terms of available jobs, I did some polling. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not it's not a robust pipeline that we're doing right now in terms of hiring. I mean, the world has literally shut down for the last 2 months. It has impacted EY just like anybody else. We're in great position. We have not terminated any of our employees. Not to say that some of that might come in the future, but we've tried our best to hang tight here and just make this work in other ways. But as you can imagine, the hiring has almost dried up for the last couple of months. So we might have more of an opportunity to talk in the coming months about opportunities, and I would love to entertain those conversations and share ideas with people. I did find a couple of our smaller niche groups where there is some needs. One of them relates to our modeling group. So if you think about the skill set of really heavy, intensive modeling, heavy usage of Excel, macros, potentially even coding, that's a big group that we're actually looking to make bigger at EY. And that has been really very relevant, especially with COVID. You're hearing a lot of companies do scenario planning, forecasting, projections. Some of that's being done by the week, by the day. So having the engine behind that is very important, and we can fill that need for companies. So anything modeling related, I think, is top of mind. And the second thing is anything on the restructuring front is also top of mind. EY is trying to insulate ourselves from a merger and acquisition perspective. What do we do when deals are not actually happening? And our restructuring practice is really that solution. So if you're familiar with the names like Alvarez and Marsal, Alex Partners, FTI Consulting, we've brought a bunch of those folks over to EY. We're now 130 strong in the U.S. and growing. And again, as you can imagine, it doesn't have to be bankruptcy, but just in times of distress, these restructuring groups are really prominent. And needless to say, we're in a time of distress. So I'll pause there, Eric, to see if you have any questions or anybody else, and make sure I covered everything I needed to cover.
No, that was spot on, Kevin. I appreciate you taking a few moments to share. And I can't say enough about the partnership that we've developed with EY. So we appreciate the support, and looking forward to collaborating. And we're going to do a corporate spotlight with EY later on this year. It'll be part of another event that we're doing. So stay tuned for that for everyone else. But no, Kevin, thank you.
Thanks.
All right. All right. So next up, I'm going to bring, Aaron Vallet is from HILTI, and Aaron's been an outstanding partner to us as well. They had a really, really strong event last year at his site, and they've got a beautiful site that they hosted our corporate spotlight. So Aaron, if you could click on the microphone button in the upper right-hand side, or I guess it's lower to the upper right-hand side. And if you click on that little microphone, it'll turn green, and that means you are live. There we go.
Okay, am I coming across to everyone?
We hear you loud and clear.
All right, so again, thank you for the opportunity. Again, my name is Aaron Ballo. I am the University Relations as well as the corporate partner for the National Black MBA and help with the sole responsibility of helping to drive our diversity efforts within the organization. Most individuals are not familiar. We are one of those silent organizations that has a lot of impact with regards to our industry. We are a German organization with over 30,000 employees worldwide, a little bit over 4,000 here in the U.S. Our corporate office here in Plano houses about 600 individuals, all working in various aspects of corporate, from your engineering services, financial services, HR, marketing, and some niche groups as well. This is our second year with the as a sponsor with the National Black MBA DFW chapter, and we're looking forward to engaging with more members within the organization and sharing a little bit of the organization as well. We have been an organization as well to have been fortunate not to lay off anyone with our organization. We really value our people, and we do everything to keep our people engaged within the organization. We are at a standstill with our hiring practices for now, but we are definitely pipelining for when the opportunity does open up for us to get back into the hiring spiel. We have a robust pipeline of candidates to choose from and touch bases with regards to our opportunities here in DFW.
Okay. That's thank you, Aaron. We appreciate it. And so again, just like we did last year, so Aaron with HILTI, we've got a corporate spotlight that'll be coming up. We may do it virtual, but again, the organization as a whole, one of the things that they harped on last year is the culture of HILTI, which stood out. So no, thank you for jumping on. We appreciate the support, and looking forward to continuing the relationship with you and working with our members, and hopefully getting a lot of members hired as the year ends out.
No, looking forward to it.
Okay. Now, lastly, I'm going to try to bring on one additional partner, and I am going to try to see if this is going to work. So Davina with CBRE has joined us, and she's logged in under my name. So we'll see if this works. But CBRE is one of the largest just overall brokerage companies in the world, and a lot of people are not very familiar with this organization. But in my time spending with Davina and learning more about it, they've got positions for the most part open all the time, and it ranges from not only just being an actual broker, but there's different aspects of the real estate world that they do at CBRE. So Davina, if you can hear my voice, if you could go up to that microphone and click it, and it will turn green, which means you will be live. That is Davina, if you hear my voice and you go to the microphone. So it'll be my name, Davina. So it'll be Eric L. Hamilton 1. So if you click on that, that will open you up to be able to speak. And if not, what Davina would say is that they got an outstanding organization and they're always hiring. So CBRE, take a look at these companies' websites. And I know it's been relatively slow with the pandemic nowadays, but with the relationship that we have, a lot of our partners are very interested in working with the membership that we have here. So with that being said, I don't think Davina is able to jump on. So Sharice, I will pass it back to yourself to continue to move forward, and that's it for me. So we cannot hear if that is Camille talking.
Oh, that was me. I thought I was
Oh.
doing something here. Okay. Thank you, Brother Hamilton.
Yes.
I was just mentioning, for those that were joining a little bit later, we are in this segment. That was, hey Camille, that was your mic. I just muted you. You may have to sort that out. In the meantime, I'll stall for you. But again, for those that just joined, we are just talking through our chapter, and in a few more moments, we're going to get into the programming aspect and hear from our guest speaker. So Camille, I'm going to try to unmute you again, and hopefully we've worked that kink out. You should be primed up whenever you're ready, Camille. I'm going to keep going, Camille, whenever you're there. Awesome. All right, I'm going to go ahead. Camille, there's some technical there. All right, Camille, I had to mute you again. There were some tech issues there. I'll keep going, and hopefully we can get that resolved pretty quickly, because I would love for you to get back to the slides. But so here's a couple of opportunities that are going on right now. As I mentioned, we have a private Facebook community for our members. We have Maren Ellis, who is certainly looking fit, and he's keeping us fit for the culture. Not me, but for some of you. Definitely join in on at 8 a.m. on Monday to work out. That's the least we can do to help you all stay fit from a physical and mental standpoint. DFW Food Bake is definitely something that we're continuing to partner with. While we can't be there live in person, we're finding ways to contribute to the organization virtually. Camille, if you want to try again, feel free. Otherwise, I'll keep going. Leaders of Tomorrow, as I mentioned, is our high school mentoring program. They are wrapping up their year actually in a couple of weeks, and they've been on it with the virtual meetups. And so I think our next session is all about presentation, and we're having them share some videos that we'll be reviewing and judging. The Beyond the Boardroom podcast. So if you all were with us back in January, I think we mentioned that we launched the podcast, which we're really excited about until the media company shut down because of COVID. So we have 4 episodes out there. So definitely check out our YouTube channel. They are all around, many of them are around financial literacy because it was Financial Literacy Month in April. But we encourage you guys to log in. It's been a really exciting feat for us, and we have more to come once the studio opens back up. And I say studio because it's like legit. It's not in our homes. We are in a studio with a nice backdrop, green screen. So we encourage you guys to check those out. And we actually look forward to having some of our corporate partners on that podcast with us at one point. And then right now, scholarships are open. So we want to ensure that if you know a high school student, senior undergraduate student, or graduate student to apply for our scholarships, we are giving away $15,000 this year. We always, every year, try to increase the amount of scholarships that we've given out. And so we definitely want to support our community. And while a lot of things are closing down, us giving back to the community is not. So check your emails, ensure you get those scholarship applications in. The deadline is, I can barely see that, but I believe we still have another month. All right. Camille, I'm going to try you again to see if you can get in. If not, I'll keep going. June 12th deadline. Thanks, Miko. Camille? I see you're green, so let's see if you can try your audio. All right, I'll keep going. Camille, feel free to interrupt me whenever you can get back on. And so again, we have a lot going on still within our organization behind the scenes. We're really excited. We have 2 new roles we had filled actually over the past couple of months. One is a marketing chair, Marquita. I know she's in the audience. We're excited to have her. And then we also have, why am I drawing a blank right now? Programming chair. You're going to kill me. I'm sorry. Shagranda, thank you, Lord, please forgive me. Shagranda is our programming chair. She also was our community champion of the year, so I really should have remembered that, and I apologize. It's Thursday after all. But we're really excited to now have a full team and a lot of opportunity. And so again, we are still programming. We are still laying out. We've had to make some pivots. Again, we had a lot of plans over the next couple of months that we're making pivots to hopefully do it virtually. And so we definitely welcome you to serve on a committee, whether strategic partnerships with Eric, and he's a treat, as you heard, student affairs, community relations, marketing, membership programming, and leaders of tomorrow. We definitely encourage you to join in. All right, I'm going to keep going until someone cuts me off. All right. And with that, this could have given my cheat sheet right here. Committee chairs, love them all. Eric Hamilton, who you've heard, is our strategic partnership chair. Rochelle Witten, community relations. Dr. Tyrone Smith is our student affairs chair, and he is the one manning the scholarships. Shagranda, again, welcome as our programming chair. And again, really excited because she was our community champion of the year. So it's great to see her step up her involvement within our organization. JR, or Jeffrey Rhymes, is our lot chair. Camille Jackson, you'll see her face soon, I hope, as our membership chair for Dallas. And I had mentioned to you all that we were strategic this year in adding a new role to our board, which is our membership chair for Fort Worth. We recognize there's a huge opportunity to expand out west, and we wanted to make sure we had dedicated teams to do so. So Maya has joined us. She lives in Tarrant County, and she is going to help us continue to outreach with universities and corporations out that way. And then Malika, who is our marketing chair as well. All right. So again, we've done a lot of outreach, which we'll talk through actually on the next slide, but we wanted to let you all know we're thinking about you and your career searches, and we want to do some virtual support, give you some virtual support with resume reviews. And so if you are a member, so two requests here, okay? If you are a member who is an HR recruiter who's interested in volunteering to review resumes and help with interviews, please email us at membership@dfwmbas.org. Secondarily, if you are a member looking to get your resume reviewed and or practice interviews, email us as well. We will love to pair you. It's important for us to pair you with an HR recruiter who is ideally in your field to give you true actionable feedback, because we recognize that it's objective and subjective space, right? So we want to ensure we do that pairing, and we will love to have as many recruiters and members as possible to make sure we facilitate that connection. So they will review your resume, provide feedback, and those interviews and reviews will be conducted in a few weeks. So please sign up soon. We've got another week. This has been posted in our email, so it shouldn't be new for many of you all who get our emails, but please sign up by May 15th. You sign up simply by emailing membership@dfwmbas.org with your name and which option you are interested in. By the way, we are going to send this deck out. There's a lot of content in here. We're about to get into a really meaty session with our guests. So just know that you'll have this deck at your fingertips at a later point. Camille really got me talking right now, but I don't mind. But feel free to jump in whenever you can. And so again, what I love about Camille, Maya, who is our membership chair for Fort Worth, and Ebony, who's our VP of programming, they really had a great idea to just reach out. And in the times like this, you know, some people hate phone calls, but you know, sometimes that personal touch really matters. And so we've had a big team. We have a lot of members, but many of you all should have gotten a call from us just to check in and see how you're doing. And we captured some of that intel as well as a survey. So overall, again, majority were not as affected. Again, it's all relative. But we do know that some of our members have lost jobs and internships, or knew someone, or were diagnosed with COVID. And again, we sympathize and empathize with you all. And so the reason why we do surveys like this is because we want to put action into place, right? We're just not calling just to trigger you or anything. We want to make sure that we provide solutions for the back half of the year as we replan to ensure that we can meet your needs. And for those corporate partners on the phone, everyone still needs a job. So, and I know that is tough for many of you, but this what you need, our memberships, is actually pretty much in line. And what you needed pre-COVID is the job opportunities and the career and professional development. So we know that we can stay on track and still meet your needs, and you'll see us continue to do that with our programming. I'm glad you liked the cause, Monique. That's awesome. All right. Okay, and with that, I can stop talking. Awesome. All right, but we're going to move on to TaShunda Scott, who is a business development at Workforce Solutions. TaShunda, let me make sure that you are plugged in. Let's see here. And I mentioned this earlier in the call, but we will have a dedicated Q&A time because we went through a lot already. And we do want to ensure that if you have some questions, we can answer those and hear our voices or see our faces. So once TaShunda is going through her segment, we'll open it up for Q&A. All right. And we're doing pretty good with timing. A few setbacks with technology, but we should be in pretty good shape to wrap up at least the core function of this meeting by 7:20, 7:30. And then for those that are new members, we would love if you stayed on for an extra 15 minutes or so while we talk through an orientation. And with that, TaShunda, please let me know if you, I know Eric probably explained it better than I, but if you click on that, that microphone right there, the speaker, and click on it, it should turn green, and that will allow you to speak. TaShunda, type if you can hear me in the chat function so we know you're there. But you should be good to go. And I'm telling y'all right now, I cannot do TaShunda's slides. Okay. It's in the upper right. Thank you, Brother Hamilton, for being our tech guy. It's in the upper right side of the microphone. Okay. All right, I really need to play some jazz music or something. We'll work on that. While TaShunda, how about this? While TaShunda is sorting through that, and hopefully that will happen pretty quickly. If anyone did have any questions that I can address, I would be happy to do so. Feel free to type. In fact, there is a slide. I think it's at this point you guys get it because everyone's been pretty active. But if you do have a question, I'm going to throw a slide up really quick. That's how you ask. Pretty straightforward. So if you do have a question that I can answer or someone on the committees can answer, feel free to type it in. We'll use that as a stalling mechanism until we get TaShunda up and running, okay? So thank you guys for your patience. Please give me a question. Thank you, Eric. What is the process to becoming a new member? Thank you. All right, we got a question. Well, guess what? There is actually a button at the top of your screen that you click on and it says join us. That should work. Are we good? Did we get it? Okay. But yes, and again, becoming a member, you're a member not only of the DFW chapter, but you're actually a member of the national organization. You are aligned with the chapter, and we know that many of our members are pretty transient. And so we get a lot of people coming from other states that are like, hey, I'm here in DFW. How do I reassign my membership? And we help you facilitate that. And then we have some that are here for school and they have to depart, unfortunately, and you can carry your membership on. So we think that's very important. As you move throughout life, your membership moves with you. And later on, we do have a slide that highlights the different membership tiers. But again, for the most part, most of you all are members. And so again, if you're not a member and you want to stay around for the new member orientation to learn a little bit more detail, I encourage you to do so. Now all y'all throwing these questions in here. Come on now. And half of them are my board members, so I see what they're doing here. Do we need to do anything else after we signed up? No. So we get a roster from our headquarters, and we automatically plug you into our communications. Sometimes there's a little bit of a delay, but it shouldn't be no longer than 7 days. And so if you have signed up to become a member, but you're not getting communications, and that happens, by the way, feel free to reach out to our membership chair, which is membership@dfwmbas.org, and we'll make sure that we get you plugged in. Thank you. That's a very valid point. We recognize, and we've been talking to our headquarters about this, sometimes when you sign up to become a member, you don't necessarily select, which you should, the Dallas chapter. You all should go ahead and log into your accounts and make sure that you have assigned yourself to the Dallas-Fort Worth chapter. So it's a very valid point. Thank you, Miko. I'll pause for a second. Did we get some traction here with TaShunda? Not yet. Okay. We'll keep going. We'll work through it. Can CBRE or another real estate member comment on a new normal? That's a really great question. I don't know if we were able to get, and Eric, feel free to text me if we were able to get Davina on. But I would love if she is in attendance and Davina, actually, if you want to type in the chat, if you're here, let us know, because we would love to get you on. Brother Cameron Shaw, our old VP of Operations, is in the building. Thank you for the shout out. Okay, you're there. Awesome, Davina. Let's go ahead and plug you in to answer that question. And then, again, hopefully we can just stall our way into getting our guest speaker on. We will not be impacted by technology. All right, Davina, again, if you click that speaker, you should be able to turn it green. And chat. I'm going to make our resident IT guy, Eric, unmuted, since he clearly can explain things better than I can. Eric, you are unlocked. How do we get someone involved in the LOT program? Great question. So again, LOT session is wrapping up right now. In fact, in a couple of weeks, and we actually have 50 kids. So as a reminder, for those that may have joined a little bit later, LOT is our Leaders of Tomorrow program. It is actually a national program, and we have a really big chapter, if you will, here with 50 kids that we mentor for 8 months out the year, from October through May. And typically, we will be preparing them for a case competition this year, which unfortunately we had to cancel as well, although there still is a practice case that they can use for their enrichment. But we will be taking a little break, and I'm sure our LOT advisors appreciate that as we prepare for the next school year. And again, we now have a new normal, so we're going to have to understand what that new environment looks like. But I would say from a digital perspective, it's gone pretty well with the students. Again, they're used to it as they've had to get on Zoom for their classes. So we'll keep an eye out, and hopefully we'll be in phase 2 or phase 10 of Texas. Who knows where we'll be by then, but we're going to continue to be safe and ensure that when we get those 50 kids together, that they will be enriched. Okay, looks like Eric, you're on, or Davina. And then we're going to try TaShunda. All right, TaShunda, you should try and see what you get. TaShunda or Eric, I think either one of you, I should say Eric or Davina. All right, TaShunda, you're here.
Hi, thank you.
You're welcome. I couldn't stall any longer, okay?
Sorry about the delay.
No problem. Jump right in. We'll keep it going.
All right, so my name is TaShunda Scott. I am the Business Development Coordinator for the Tarrant County Workforce Solutions Board. I have a unique role because I am dually located. A portion of my position is at the board level, where I work with businesses in helping them take their current internal trainings and build apprenticeships and get registered with the Department of Labor. And I also help them with getting the resources that they need and connecting them to resources throughout Tarrant County, and even outside the county if we need to, so that they can get what they need from a business standpoint. And on the other side, I also work at the Texas Live Entertainment District under the Cordish companies. That portion of my position is helping with recruiting, pre-screening, and job retention. The job retention is different for everybody that works for Texas Live, which also includes Live by Lowe's, the hotel we just opened up last August, because retention could mean a number of different things for the person that's working there. It could mean helping them overcome barriers to transportation. It could be helping them with childcare or even housing. So I am dually located mainly to help service those individuals within that entertainment district, but then also to help businesses. I recently moved to Texas almost about 2 years ago from Illinois, and I've been working in the workforce sector for about 17 years. So I love it here, and I'm glad to have been invited to the National MBA Association, and I'm excited to build a relationship with you all and help you connect with our resources here throughout Tarrant County, and also to help you get whatever resources you may need. So I want to talk a little bit about the services that we offer on the workforce solution side of things for our job seekers and for our employers or our businesses. All of our services are free. Our goal is to make sure that people get what they need to gain employment and maintain employment. So some of the things that we can help our job seekers with is they can have access to our centers when we reopen. As of right now, we are closed. Both the Texas Live Entertainment District's side of things is closed right now, as well as our offices for our workforce solutions. However, people can still get access to service if they need them. They can call our main number or go to our workforcesolutions.net website, and they can be connected with our case managers as well as our business service reps. So we can help them with access to computers and copiers and phones once we open back up. They also have access to fidelity bonding. Fidelity bonding is a win-win situation for both the business and the job seeker. If a person has experienced any hardships during their previous work history, whether it is a dishonorable discharge, whether it is a criminal background, it could be no work experience at all, the company can receive a free federal bond that will be supplemental insurance for them as the employer, to say that if anything happens while this person is working for you, that you have some supplemental coverage. And so those bonds are increments of $5,000 up to $25,000 for the employer. The job seeker or the new hire candidate never sees that bond. It goes directly to the employer. And that's a service that they can take advantage of at any center. An employer can actually request that a job seeker or a new hire get that fidelity bond before they start their first day of work. We offer a lot of workshops on financial literacy, on the basics of financial literacy, applications, especially identifying job application tracking systems. We do career assessments via like career cruising. We do a lot of resume creation, updates, and reformatting. We can help with some cover letters, and we can also help with getting them the tools that they may need to retain their employment. So the next slide talks about what can they be doing now while we're in this shutdown. You can research companies that you may want to work for once everything starts to reopen. Look them up on Glassdoor, use Google or LinkedIn, even Yelp as a way to see what type of company that they are, what they offer as far as benefits, so that you'll know how to negotiate whatever it is that you're looking for salary-wise, and even looking at some of the benefits that they offer. Update your LinkedIn account so that you can update your personal brand. You want to look at your resume, your cover letter, and your reference sheet, and make sure that they're updated so that, you know, when you begin to look for work again, if you're not already doing that, that those things will already be updated. Work on your interview questions. Also have interview answers prepared for that next interview that you'll have. And maybe that interview will be virtual, who knows? You want to work on those questions so that at the time of the interview, you'll already have these things prepared. You can also work on your strengths and weaknesses as it relates to your employability skills. Look at the past and how you've worked in the past and determine, what were the reasons why you didn't, advance on the job, some things that you can potentially find some professional development courses in. There are websites like GCF Learn Free that offer a lot of free workshops online. This is a service provided by Goodwill Industries, and you can go to their website. They'll teach you anything from the basics on how to start a computer to how to build a workbook in Excel. So they have a number of different programs that you can go through on GCF Learn Free, and I'll type that in down here. It is a really good website that people can use as a way to go to free trainings and things like that. So those are some of the things that you can be working on right now while you're at home. As for the business service side of things, our goal for working with businesses is to make sure that they get the resources that they need. Next slide, please. So our goal is to make sure that they get the services that they need. Although I am stationed in Tarrant County, we have over 28 workforce boards throughout Texas. So that means there's a board in Dallas County that offer all of the same services that we offer in Tarrant County. Dallas County may even have a lot more programs because it is somewhat of a bigger county as well, that they can go more in depth with helping their employers and their job seekers depending on where you're located. If you are interested in getting more information about who those reps are or what that contact information is, my contact information will be at the end of this slide, and you're free to reach out to me at any point. But for our employers, we really want to make sure that we're giving you everything that you need, even our small businesses. So whatever resources you may need, whether it's internal on-the-job training for some of your employees or potential employees, we want to make sure that you get those. There are work experience opportunities, as well as skills for veterans and skill development. There's skills for small businesses, as well as, again, the fidelity bonding and the workforce opportunity tax credits. Fidelity bonding, I keep mentioning that because not enough businesses take advantage of that service. That is a free supplemental insurance for you as a business owner, that if anything happens while your staff is employed for you, that you're covered up to whatever X amount that you received. Maximum is $25,000. And so a person can, an employer can request that a person get that fidelity bond from any workforce center. They just have to get that at the time that they receive a new hire letter, and they present that to the workforce personnel. The workforce opportunity tax credits are also great because if you hire individuals that may have a background, that may be a veteran, that may have been unemployed for 26 or more consecutive weeks, that may have used any TANF type programs, it allows you to receive tax credits. And some of those tax credits can even be up to $3,000 per person, depending on what their situation is and what indicators they have to have them qualify for that amount. So those are all things that employers can take advantage of, especially through Workforce Solutions. We also can post your job opportunities on Work in Texas for free. We can also help you with recruiting events. We do what we call job links, where, like this platform, we give employers the opportunity to broadcast their job openings, where the job seekers can see them at each of the centers. And you can show us either your location, or you can just showcase some of the things that you're doing as an employer. And what we do is we broadcast that job links at every single center. Again, all of the services that we provide are at no cost to you. So we want to help. We want to make sure that you get what you need. Right now, we understand that, pretty much everybody is shut down, and we're going to slowly get back to opening. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that the small businesses have all the resources that they need. I do not work for SBA.gov, but if you go to the next slide, we have a few different grant and loan opportunities that are out there for businesses. Some of them there are waiting lists for some of these loans, and then there are some waiting lists for some of the grants. But if you have any specific questions about any of the loans, you can definitely reach out to me. I can put you in contact with a person directly that can help you with that. If you're looking for any of the additional grants that are coming up, there's a lot of grants. There is a grant that Fort Worth just announced for helping small businesses in terms of rent, mortgage, their inventory, working capital, payroll, their IT, or even their marketing efforts. And they are accepting applications through Wednesday, May 13th. If you are interested in having that information, I can definitely email you, and I'll give that to Maya or Camille and make sure that they have it available for anybody that is interested. So there are opportunities for grants and additional funding for small businesses that are having any issues right now during this shutdown. So the next slide just talks about their links to the small business guidance and loan resources. There are also links to coronavirus relief options, and it talks about the SBA Learning Center. Businesses can actually take advantage of some of the free professional development and business development courses that they have on SBA.gov. And those courses range from just the basics of starting a business to writing a request for proposal to get approved for grants or anything that may pertain to them running their business. And so I have 3 contacts down here at the bottom, Bob, Rodney, and Ahmad, who are professionals in working with the SBA.gov. The first 2, Bob and Rodney, are actually based out of Dallas area, but you can also contact Ahmad as well because he works directly for the Small Business Association. And so Small Business Administration, I'm sorry. And he can answer any questions that you may have. After the presentation, once you get this deck, there will be some handouts that I provided as well if you have any additional questions regarding some of these resources. If I haven't talked about any resources that you are interested in at this point, if you think that there's something else, you can feel free to call me. My contact number is on this last slide here. And I am open to any questions, any concerns that you may have, anything that we haven't talked about, anything that you may need resources or references to. You can definitely reach out to me. Even if I'm not the person that can help you with that, I will make sure that you get the contact that you need. So again, my name is TaShunda. I know I said a mouthful. I try to get everything out, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at any time. I am looking forward to Texas Live opening back up when we do get a chance to open, and I hope to see most of you there. Again, thank you for the opportunity to present today.
Thank you, TaShunda, for speaking. And
that's all I have. If you guys have any questions, I can try to answer some at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, TaShunda, for speaking to our organization. We definitely want to take this time to open it up for if anyone has any further questions for TaShunda about your own personal journey, like what you can be doing during COVID, or also as it relates to the business resources as well. So we'll probably leave it open for for any questions. If you could raise your hand or either type it in the chat box. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, TaShunda, for speaking to our organization. I know next we're going to go into the new membership orientation. There's been a lot of questions about, how to get involved, and now Annette will speak through some more of those details.
The new member orientation, I do know that some people are going to drop off because they've been members for quite some time. So with that, I do want to pause to see if there's any other overarching questions that we can answer from a chapter perspective, and we can knock those out, or I can guide you to the board member who can support you on that. But ultimately, we want to make sure we get your questions answered, especially during this time. And then for those that are new members, just hold on. We do have a couple more slides we would love to share with you. Salim Boyd, thank you for your question. How likely is it that the conference will still be in person this year? We actually had a board member on earlier today, Mr. Michael McNeil, that kind of addressed that. Ultimately, more conversation will be had with the board over the next week or so, and I hope that I can share more detail. But from my understanding, the goal is to try to have a conference. Now, whether that is a fusion of virtual and person, more to come on that. But again, we know that this is a top question for many of our members across the country, and we'll get that resolved for you all as soon as we can. Any other larger, excuse me, y'all got me talking a lot today. Any other larger questions that we can address from a chapter? But again, thank you all for your time. We know that you've all had a lot of screen time today, and we appreciate you jumping on and bearing with us through some of our technical glitches there. Is there anything I missed? I know my great board members have been in the chat answering some questions real time. But looks like we're good. Looks like we're good. So again, for those that want to stay on, we would love to have you, especially if you are a new member or someone that's interested in being a member. We have a few more slides just to give you a deeper dive into our chapter. And other than that, everyone who just wants to get some food in your belly, feel free to wrap up. And thank you. We'll have a few more webinars coming your way shortly. Okay, and with that, I am going to turn it over to Annette. I think you were ready and primed up. Annette, let me know if you can speak, and we'll get you going with the new member orientation. Thank you all.
Anthony, and welcome to the new member orientation for the DFW chapter. I joined the DFW chapter in February of 2019, mainly to network and for career and professional development. Thus far, my experience has far exceeded my expectations. I have enhanced my career goals as well as grown my network both professionally and personally. And I just wanted to give a shout out to our president. She has a decisive and strategic leadership style. So I just want everyone to know that they're in good hands with the DFW chapter. The National Black MBA Association, our president and CEO is Bruce Thompson. He is interim president, and that was just announced a few days ago. So we're looking forward to his leadership. We were established in 1970, and our headquarters is in Atlanta, Georgia. We have 39 chapters, over 15,000 members, 300 partners. We offer $1 million in annual scholarships, as well as 1,000 job placements. Our mission is to lead in the creation of educational, wealth building, and growth opportunities for students, entrepreneurs, and professionals that are typically underrepresented. The DFW Chapter 2020 strategic priority is to elevate. Just to give you a little bit of background, in 2018, our strategic priority was to energize. It was to activate Headquarters 2020 vision, as well as to re-energize with members. In 2019, it was engage. We wanted to build a deeper partnership and strengthen our community involvement. So now we're in 2020, and our strategic priority is to elevate. First, we want to expand our reach. We want to deepen our network and grow our membership by 300, give or take, with the COVID epidemic. And as Cherise stated, we're targeting Fort Worth or Tarrant County. The membership chair again for Tarrant County is Maya Talley. So if you're interested in joining her membership committee, please feel free to reach out to her. Secondly, we want to deepen our programs and offerings by supporting our membership with diverse topics and leveraging technology, such as our virtual meetings. Third, we want to elevate our impact. We want to support the advancement of our membership in careers and community. Getting involved, joining a committee. All of the committees touch upon our 4 pillars: leadership and development, education and career, as well as entrepreneurship. So there is surely something for everyone. Strategic partnerships, student affairs, LOT or Leaders of Tomorrow, marketing, programming, membership, and community relations. It's a good time to advance your leadership skills as well as your networking skills. So I strongly encourage everyone to join a committee or 2. So just a few frequently asked questions. How often do members meet? So there's a general body meeting once a quarter and various events throughout the year for you to participate in, such as we have memberships, we have fun. In addition to learning a lot, we also have fun. We have membership socials, as well as new member socials. Who do I contact if I have questions about my membership? You can contact Maya Talley for Tarrant County and Camille Jackson for Dallas County. How do I join a committee? You can view the open roles on the DFW chapter website, which is dfwmbas.org/committees, or contact the chair directly. Where can I learn what each committee does? We'll be giving this deck, providing this deck to you, and in the appendix, slides 39 to 41, there's the committee and the committee details. So you'll see the committee chair, a picture of them, their contact information, as well as a few bulleted items of their committee's goals. Do I have to pay for membership all at once? I saw that someone had asked a question, how much does it cost? That is also in the appendix, but membership dues can be made as a one-time payment or in equal monthly installments. Where do I sign up or change my information? You can go to the DFW chapter website or the national website, and just make sure, again, as Sri stated, to select DFW as your local chapter. What type of events do you put on throughout the year? Some examples are networking events, corporate spotlights with our strategic partners, professional and career development sessions, as well as community service activities such as helping the local food banks. I cannot stress the importance of staying connected to the chapter. Social media is where we post all of our events, as well as where we interact with our members. So most definitely the chapter website is dfwmbas.org. We're on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and the podcasts are currently on YouTube. So if you are on the website chapter in the upper right-hand corner, if you click any of those buttons, it will take you directly to our social media outlets. So again, I just strongly everyone to make sure you're connected on all social media levels. And just a few perks that are specifically for Dallas-Fort Worth. We have free and discounted events. We have early access to events. We have member-only events. One of my favorite events that we had last year was the premiere for Aladdin with Will Smith. I think a great time was had by all. We have small business marketing support. We have Career Connect, which is job pairing with our corporate partners, as Eric and the partners stated, as well as networking with other professionals. So thank you all for listening to the membership orientation. Again, we have an appendix that you will be receiving along with the whole entire presentation. And I cannot stress enough to get connected, join a committee, and attend some of our events. Thank you.
That was awesome. Thank you, Annette. So now we'll open again for any Q&A. If anybody has any questions, again, you can either raise your hand on the side and we can unmute you, or you can just type your question in on the side and we can get those questions answered if Annette did not address any of them. Okay, so Winfred said, it was mentioned of looking at Fort Worth and Tarrant County and for getting new members. Are there any plans to target new membership in Denton or Collin counties? So even though we have, a chair for Tarrant County, that does not exclude any other counties in the area. So we definitely would love to have more membership in Denton as well as Collin counties, and that would be part of the Dallas County membership. And so if you are a part of those areas and wanting to get involved, we would love to have you. And, we would love to even have further ideas of how we can reach individuals in that area. But definitely reach out to Camille Jackson. Her email will be online as well as in the presentation as well.
Maya, if I can jump in on that as well. And just specify again, we are super inclusive of every county in this metroplex. We recognize that is quite large. It's always been tough for us to determine where we have events because we know people are coming from so many different areas of the metroplex, especially after work. So that's why we made this strategic decision to add a new board member to focus on Tarrant Plus. And you guys will notice actually on the slide it says Dallas Plus County. We're all inclusive here, but we just wanted to make sure you guys knew that in the past we've definitely heard a lot of feedback. We don't come out west enough, and so we wanted to really emphasize that this year to ensure you all that we are going to try our best to move around as much as we can this year. So I just wanted to emphasize that part, but all are welcome within a 50-mile radius or so. In fact, we got some members in Oklahoma, so we welcome you guys to come on wherever you are. Just join a chapter. We're happy to have you. Any other questions we can answer for you all? And thanks for those 46 people that have stuck by and stood over with us. Any other questions? Given the pandemic, what are some things we can do as new members to remain connected to our chapter? I'll take that. The biggest thing you can do is just stay engaged on our social channels. We have a digital chapter. We always do our best to provide content, well, not just flyers, but actual content on our pages to ensure that you are enriched. So I would say stay connected on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube with our podcast. And then outside of that, as you continue to get emails, you're going to see a lot of events coming up. Again, we're going to stay virtual for at least the next 60 days and then see what happens for Q3 and Q4. But if you are subscribed to our email, you will have all that information in your inbox. We only email on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We know you guys get a lot of spam. So if you ever are wondering, do you get an email from us, check a Tuesday or Thursday and you will have us in your inbox. The best way to get involved right now, and this wasn't explicitly mentioned, but I'll say this, you know, we have a lot of topics that we want to arm our members. And with that, we would love to leverage local speakers and subject matter experts. So we don't say this enough, but I want to encourage you, if you are a subject matter expert, especially under our three pillars, I should say, of professional development, career exploration, economic prosperity, please reach out to us. We would love to speak to you. So that's one avenue to get involved with speakers and empower our membership with your wisdom. Other than that, again, there was on these slides that would be in the appendix are the exact email addresses of each committee. And you can reach out to them directly to understand what needs they have. We have some people that are like, hey, I can give you 3 months of my time and that's it. Great. We have some projects for you. And then we have some people that are lifelong volunteers and we'll keep you around as well. There's always ways that you can get involved. Again, right now we're trying to be strategic. We're kind of replanning, if you will, although we had a really great, robust plan that we laid out earlier this year. We're just replanning a bit. So it may be a little bit slow, but I guarantee you there's an opportunity for you to get involved. Any other questions? This is usually when I put my board members on the spot to answer questions for me. Thank you. All right, well, we'll continue just to hang out just a little bit if more questions want to come through. But other than that, feel free, if you have to drop off, feel free to do so. As mentioned, there's some slides here. Someone's clicking through that shows the different membership levels and, of course, the host of benefits there. All right, I think we got a lot done. I think you guys just want to hang out with us, huh? Thank you, Jamel. We appreciate you. Oh, there were more slides. Wait a minute, Annette, who's slipping through this? Or this is an appendix. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't still in someone's thunder here. But yes, definitely ways to get involved through passive donations as well. We do understand actually right now a lot of corporations are matching nonprofits that you may want to align yourself with. And we're here, and we actually get a lot of our members that use an employee matching. So we thank you all for doing that. Every little bit counts, as well as Amazon. If you're like me, I mentioned this at the top of the call. I'm on Amazon at least 5 days a week, buying something dumb. But I make sure that those pennies go towards the chapter. So every little bit counts, right? All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and drop. I think we've exhausted everyone, including my voice. But thank you again. This has been recorded. You can probably take out about 5 minutes of the technical issues. But overall, we thank you all for your engagement. And we hope to see you soon virtually. All right. So everyone have a good evening.